Our next section's pyramids and cones with the volume. So again, a pyramid depends on the base, and the cone is always going to have a base of a circle. First, the volume of a pyramid, and it doesn't matter the base of the pyramid, the formula is always going to be the same. It's always going to be base times height. That would give me a prism, but we have to cut it in parts. It's actually going to be 1/3 times the base of the prism, because when you're looking at a pyramid, you're taking off both of the sections from the left and the right, and from in front and behind. So in this next problem, it tells me that the height is 485 and the side length is 755.5. So when I'm looking at this, it's 1/3. So I'm going to have my 1/3 times big B. Big B is going to be the area of my base. In this case, my base is the square right down below. So it would be 755.5 times 755.5. Or you could also write 755.5 squared in your problem. Because for a square, it's going to be the same side length. And then my height is always going to be from the point, the 90-degree angle created with the base. So in this case, it's going to be 485. I'm going to plug that into my calculator. You get a very, very large number. That number would be 92276,140 feet cubed. Because obviously, if you're talking about an actual pyramid, one of the Great Pyramids, the largest of the original 7 wonders of the world, man, that's a lot of feet cubed. Feel bad for the guys who had to create that thing. So my next problem, I still want to find the volume of this pyramid, except I'm given the slant height. So with every pyramid or cone, you can always draw right triangles here with your slant height and with the height of your triangle. So if I were to take this right triangle and write it over to the side, my slant height is 15. This length is my actual height of my pyramid. That's what I'm looking for. And this length is always going to be half your side length. So in this case, it's going to be 9. So I can write the equation h squared plus 9 squared is equal to 15 squared. And I get h squared is equal to 144. Take the square root. H is equal to 12. Now I can figure out what the volume is. And it's going to be 1/3 times the area of your base. In this case, it's going to be 18 times 18. Because in a square pyramid, both sides are the same. So that's 324. That's my big B. Times your height. And my height here is 12. So my total volume will be 1,296 yards cubed. Again, volume is always cubed. I want you to pause the video. Yes, pause the video and attempt this problem by yourself. Here I'm given the slant height, so you have to make sure to draw up your right triangle and figure out what is the height of this pyramid. First, when you found the height of your pyramid, you should have gotten 7.6. It's going to be h squared plus 2.5 squared, because it's half your side length. Remember, whenever you're looking for the slant height or the height, you always want to use half the side length. And you would have got 7.6 for the height, so it's 1/3 times the area of your base. In this case, it's going to be the 5 times 5 here, which is 25. So you should have gotten 63.3 meters cubed. The volume of the cone is the same concept, 1/3 times the area of the base times height. Now, it might be helpful to help you to write down the volume of a cone is going to be 1/3. The area of the base is radius squared pi times the height of the shape. Because this is going to be your big B. So if you do not remember that off the top of your head, you should write this part down, not big B. So in my next problem, I have my volume equal to 1/3 times radius squared. Now this is my diameter. Diameter is the whole length across. So half of that is going to give me 4. So it'd be 4 squared pi. That's this length right here, 4. And then I also have to multiply that by my height. Now this is my slant height, if you remember correctly. So now I have to use my a squared, b squared to figure out what my height is going to be. So h squared plus 4 squared is equal to 11 squared. And you get that h squared is equal to 105. So you have to take the square root of both sides to get h by itself. H is going to be equal to 10.2. So I'd plug that in for my height, 10.2. So if you put this into your calculator, first if I want to find my pi units, that would be equal to 54.4 pi centimeters cubed. Or if you're going to be rounded to the nearest hundredth, and if you're going to change pi into a decimal, it'd be equal to 170.82 centimeters cubed. Again, I don't care which way you give it to me, as less if I tell you which way you should have it, either in pi units or to the nearest hundredth. So this next problem, I want you to find the volume by yourself in both pi units and rounded to the nearest inch. So even though this cone is off a little, you're still going to do the area of your base times the height. So this right here is going to be your height times 1/3. So your two answers, first is going to be 1/3 times the area of your base times your height, which is 15. I have to use 8 because the diameter was given to me, not the radius, and it's radius squared. So if you're looking for the 120, you first have to do your 1/3 times 8 squared times 15. That's how you get the 320. And I still have my pi left over. So 320 pi inches cubed. And then if you want to the nearest whole number, 320 times 3.14 would be rounded to 1,005 inches cubed. Make sure you have all the formulas written down, all the formulas and problems also written down in your notebook. You know what? You have a wonderful day, whatever you're gonna do after this.